It started as a faint irregularity, an image buried deep in the raw streams of the James Webb Space Telescope's instruments. At first glance, it seemed like a routine glitch. But a handful of astronomers quickly noticed something different. This wasn't cosmic noise, nor the flicker of a dying star, nor the tail of a comet. The pattern was too precise, too deliberate, too mechanical. The target was 3I, Atlas, an interstellar body already infamous for breaking the rules of physics. But what the new, unreleased Webb data revealed shifted the conversation entirely. If the signals were genuine, then Atlas wasn't just another mysterious traveler. It might be something else, something watching. When it was first discovered, scientists assumed it was like Oumuamua or Borisov, odd visitors from another star, swinging past our sun before fading into the black. But Atlas was different. It carried no visible coma of water vapor or dust, no shimmering tail. Instead, it bled only carbon dioxide, nothing else. No water, no carbon monoxide, no common cometary markers. An unheard of chemical signature. What kind of body behaves like that? The unsettling answer: none that we know. To probe further, NASA used the infrared spectrometers aboard SphereX. They expected to find the familiar traces of comet gases. Instead, they found only silence, CO, and nothing else. It was as if the object had been engineered to look comet-like from a distance, while hiding its true nature. Behind closed doors, Webb was tasked to observe it directly. No public releases followed, only silence. But leaks began circulating, claims of a perfectly symmetrical halo of carbon dioxide surrounding Atlas, stretching for thousands of kilometers. Stranger still, its brightness didn't match sunlight reflecting off rock or ice. The light came from inside. According to leaked spectrographic breakdowns, the emission pattern resembled artificial photonic systems, signals used for communication. Not random, but repeating. Structured. Almost like a cosmic transmission. And then there was the trajectory. Unlike chaotic flybys, Atlas moved with uncanny precision. Its orbit was aligned with the planetary plane of our solar system, a path with only a fraction of a % chance of occurring naturally. Some said it looked more like a programmed flight path than a wandering rock. Harvard's Avi Loeb described it as technologically suggestive, a course designed to be noticed, but never fully understood. The mystery deepened when analysts discovered the origin point of Atlas traced back toward the Sagittarius constellation, the same region where the legendary "wow" signal was picked up in 1977. The overlap was too strange to ignore. Speculation soon spiraled. What if Atlas wasn't natural at all? What if it was a hollowed-out asteroid, modified for interstellar travel? A hybrid of rock and machinery, its crust hiding propulsion, sensors, or even an internal habitat. The concept isn't new. Our own scientists have proposed using asteroids as natural shields for star travel. But what if someone, or something, actually built one? Even more unnerving were the light pulses Webb recorded. At first dismissed as rotational flickering, deeper analysis revealed prime number sequences, a mathematical signature long proposed as the foundation for first contact. Stranger still, between bursts, there were long silences, as if something were waiting. Listening. Soon after, ground observatories began reporting failures. Communications with New Horizons, Voyager, and even parts of the Deep Space Network dropped out in sync with Webb's observation windows. Theories emerged that Atlas might be actively suppressing signals. Was it defending itself? Or sending a warning? Then came the first sign that changed everything: the trajectory shifts. For months, Atlas had been catalogued as nothing more than an interstellar visitor. Another Oumuamua, scientists said, A body tossed out from some forgotten corner of the galaxy, caught briefly in our sun's influence before slipping back into the void. Its path seemed predictable, natural, ordinary. But leaked tracking logs told a different story. Subtle, deliberate corrections were detected, tiny but undeniable. Movements that no random fragment of rock or ice should be capable of making. These weren't the random nudges of gravity or the gentle push of solar radiation. They looked like course corrections. And then came the maneuver that froze analysts in their tracks. With surgical precision, Atlas angled itself, not toward the Sun, not toward Jupiter, not toward any accidental trajectory, but directly toward Luyden's star, a red dwarf about 12 light-years away. Astronomers know it well, because circling within its faint glow is a planet, a world lying squarely in its habitable zone. To some, the alignment looked like chance. To others, it looked like intent. The kind of adjustment you would expect not from a drifting comet, but from a vessel that knew where it wanted to go. Still, skepticism remained. Science demands caution. But the greatest shock was yet to come, hidden not in Atlas's path but in its light. Buried deep in the faint pulses of infrared radiation, analysts discovered a coded structure. At first, it was dismissed as background noise. But when reprocessed and examined frame by frame, the signal sharpened into something undeniable, a sequence. A countdown. It read, 283 Earth days remaining. And here's the part that unsettled everyone, it wasn't written in NASA's logs. It wasn't an annotation by a human hand. The signal originated from Atlas itself. Whispers spread quickly through the scientific community, and then outward into darker circles. Was it possible this object wasn't a comet at all? Some theorists began to argue that Atlas might not even be a machine, at least, not in the way we define one. What if it was something in between? A fusion of metal and biology. A biomechanical entity. A construct that could learn, adapt, and even evolve across the empty gulfs of space. Not just sent on a mission, but self-driven. A traveler. A messenger. Perhaps even something alive. Then came the discovery that shattered every assumption left standing. The James Webb Space Telescope, still tracking Atlas at the very edge of its vision, captured bursts of energy thought at first to be static, scrambled, chaotic noise. But one software engineer, unwilling to let it go, tried something different. She mapped the bursts against a polar coordinate grid, then compared them to known stellar catalogs. What emerged wasn't random at all. It was a star map. But not of our local sky. The alignments pointed outward, far beyond the spiral of our own Milky Way, to the Triangulum galaxy, more than 2.5 million light-years away. And at the end of the pattern, the map curved back, looping directly toward Earth. It wasn't just a chart of where Atlas came from. It was a chart of a return journey. So the question lingers, what exactly did Webb see? Not a comet. Not an asteroid. Not a shard of cosmic debris. Something deliberate. Something older than we can imagine, stranger than we can categorize. A presence not simply passing by, but arriving with purpose. And if the countdown is real, then time is not on our side. Each day it ticks away, silently, embedded in pulses of light, like a clock only we were meant to read. A message. A warning. Or perhaps an invitation. Which leaves us with only the most unsettling questions. Why now? Why Earth? And what happens when the countdown finally reaches zero?